How are you guys doing, my lovely extreme foolishness family? We know we're going to eradicate extreme foolishness. Today I'll be talking to you guys about Sidney Powell, the former Trump lawyer, the former one. Remember, during the election, she kept saying there was fraud. She, along with former President Donald Trump, kept saying there was fraud in the elections and all that. You know that. You know. And you know she was full of extreme foolishness. She kept peddling this false fraud claims. She said she had all the evidence in the world. She said, don't worry, I have evidence out of the wazoo. I have affidavits. I have witnesses. I have this. I'm going to show Hugo Chavez. Dominion voting systems had connections with Hugo Chavez. The ballots were rigged in favor of Joe Biden. Anytime someone clocked in Trump or logged in Trump, he gave the votes for Joe Biden. Now she was sued by Dominion voting systems and for defamation. So now she's responding to her lawsuit and claimed that no reasonable person will have believed what she was saying. People, this is extreme foolishness. The Republicans were peddling her false claims at the time, saying it was fraud. They are still doing it right now, as a lot of these state legislators are trying to pass voter suppression bills. They're trying to pass them into law. They were peddling all these false claims of fraud. Now that there's time, because anytime you get sued for defamation, you have a defense of truth. This is her time to produce evidence that what she was saying is true, but she has no evidence. Now her defense is that no reasonable human being will have believed her BS. Going by her logic, which means every Republican who believed her false, fraudulent claims or claims of election fraud, it's not reasonable. They are not reasonable. They are stupid. They're extreme fools. And they're still going to buy this BS. If you believe there was fraud in the election, tell her to show the evidence. Why do you go to social media and lie and keep lying? And they're trying to use this same fraud claims to pass voter suppression bills all across the United States, especially in my home state of Georgia. And I have to call them out because it's extreme foolishness. Sidney Powell, you're an extreme fool. Because if you were going to put your money where your mouth is, if you're going to back what you're saying, what you said, you show the evidence of fraud. Don't chicken out when you get sued. Don't say no reasonable person will have believed what I said. Don't say that. You're a chicken, Sidney Powell. Because if you were really about that life, you will back up what you're saying. It's cowardice not to be able to back up what you say and run and chicken out once it gets hot. That's exactly what she's doing. She is chicken out. And she's an extreme fool. That is why this is Extreme Foolishness TV, to talk about extreme fools like Sidney Powell. And unfortunately, a lot of folks are still going to believe her. They're going to say there was fraud, but there's no evidence. And this same person is now out there saying no reasonable person will believe her bogus, extremely foolish, false allegations that has no evidence, nothing, no basis in law or in fact. I remember one time I represented a lawyer. A doctor went online and said that lawyer committed a scam. I represented that lawyer, and that doctor paid $175,000 settlement. I think Sidney Powell should be bankrupt. She should lose this case, and they should get her for every dime. Take her house, take everything she got. Bankrupt her. So that way a message will be sent. You cannot just go out there and peddle fraud claims with no basis. Because the damage to the reputation of the company is not fair. The damage to the integrity of the voting system is not right. A lot of Republicans now believe there was really fraud, even though there was no widespread fraud. So I think a message needs to be sent. Sidney Powell has filed a motion to dismiss. I hope the judge denies the motion to dismiss. And I'm sure the reason they're using this argument is because it worked for Tucker Carlson before. Tucker Carlson also used the argument that no reasonable person will believe his BS claims. This is the Republican Party, people. These people just lie, spew lies, manufacture claims, manufacture things that don't exist. Fantasy world. When they get sued, they say, oh, no reasonable person will believe what I said was true. Like, it's so stupid, nobody will believe it. It's so dumb, nobody will believe it. That is your defense, and that is what you're using in court. Like, oh, what I said is just so dumb, so extremely foolish, so stupid. And that is the people a lot of these folks follow. And let me know what you think in the comments. As a host of this channel, I have a duty to call out extreme foolishness. People, wise up, and most importantly, say no to extreme foolishness.